What's going on? It's the Political Brown Kid, and I'm a day late and a dollar short with this whole Jonathan Majors thing, but really not so, because he did just sit down and do an interview, which I did not watch. Don't care to watch it. Um, this is what I'm going to say about this, and just kind of give you a little bit of. I'm going to kind of be. Please forgive me if I'm a little scatterbrained, but I'm just kind of. Once again, I just freestyle this stuff. Found guilty, and at first I was kind of thinking, well, dang, from what I saw on TV, you can't always just go off of what you see on TV. Because what you see on TV, number one, what you see on TV is two track stars. Honestly, you see two track stars. I don't know what his ex-girlfriend's name, that white girl. Damn track star. Jonathan Majors, a damn track star. I've never seen two people run that many blocks and not stop and huff and puff and say time out, time out. Both of them, you know how you used to play and then you hold your fingers up, say time out, let's take a break. And then after that, you say time in, and then you continue running or doing whatever it is that you was doing. None of them did that. No hands on their knees, no huffing and puffing, slunched over. And these people are in their 30s. Both of them. All you saw in New York block, y'all don't know how long New York blocks are. If you ever go downtown, if you're in a major city like DC or even San Fran, go run one block of that. You will find out how long a New York block is. And they ran about 12 of them. All you saw was different cameras picking them up. Then it panned to the other camera. That's all you saw. But the thing about it is, you can't go off of just that. Because I saw just that, and then you hear what the account is from the chauffeur. But this is still credible. I'm not discounting any of this. So what you see is this information put in, and you can say, man, the joke is very innocent. And I honestly believe he should have ultimately been, my personal opinion is he should have been acquitted. But we'll get to that in a minute. The thing that gives me concern was that, and I don't know if this was admissible in court or not, and this is going to be a lesson for anyone out there, male or female. The thing that kind of made me pause and say, oh man, maybe that's the evidence that got him was the text messages. Because I just happened to just read a lot of them. And it was him basically saying he wanted to off himself and, you know, what he did. And did you tell him that I did this? Did you lie? This and this, that, and the third. And so it was leaning as if he was trying to cover something up and as if he was, had an involvement in something. But still, that's not enough to convict someone because there was nothing explicit saying, yes, I did this, lie for me and say I did that. There was nothing explicit, but there was a lot of insinuation that you could read into it. So that's why I'm trying to say we don't know what other evidence was presented, but I'm going to be honest with you. Overall, I thought he should have been convicted. I should have thought he should have been acquitted. Let me take that back. I thought he should have been acquitted. Number one, okay, you have a fractured finger. You know how many times maybe it's me as a man, maybe men and women are different. But you know, when you are active, you fracture a finger. You can try to catch a basketball and fracture your finger. Pop! If that ball hit the top of that finger and you don't catch that ball right, you can fracture a finger. You can fracture a finger messing around with a football. You can fracture a finger a lot of ways. You know, people, you damage your limbs all the time. And she had a fractured finger and a scratch behind her ear. You know how many times I wake up with crooks in my neck? Like, what did I do last night? Was I fighting in my sleep? I don't know. My neck, I cannot hold my neck right. You wake up with scratches. I don't know when a scratch in a finger warrants an assault. And then especially too, when you hear that she was the initiator, you hear that from the driver of the vehicle that they were traveling in, and you hear that from both accounts, admittedly, and then you see the visual optics of him running away and then her giving chase. At some point, I guess, unfortunately for him, he was in New York, because if he was in Florida, maybe the stand your ground law would have applied. But I guarantee you it wouldn't, because stand your ground laws probably do not apply to men when it comes to men hurting helpless victim women who are just nothing but victims, even though they can chase you, try to grab your phone, get in your face, smush you, touch you, because touching someone without wanting to be touched that's already an assault. She committed several assaults. So, and this is also too what I'm trying to say is that people are losing jobs. I'm kind of now I'm digressing from I'm kind of digressing into his career. People are losing jobs over the stupidest things. And I'm looking at Jonathan Majors, and when you talk about people are just hearing, oh, a man assaulted a woman, and then they're like, you're fired. As soon as they hear that a man assaulted a woman, they're firing them. They're not taking things into context. They're not taking things into perspective and saying, okay, well, what happened? Okay, well, the man, he tried to take her phone. She got a scratch behind her ear and she damaged her finger. And then you say, that's it? Okay, well, that sounds like some little domestic stuff. Okay, fine. That's a totally different situation between somebody pulverizing someone to the point where they're almost, unconscious or in the hospital. You have to put things into context, and that's what these studios and stuff are not doing. We're living in a time where we're on witch hunts. You look at the black female that works at Harvard, the president, and this is for the Republicans because they do the same stuff too. They didn't like that went against Israel, so now you start putting out all this plagiarism stuff to get her fired, which she resigned. So people are losing jobs over unfavorable opinions and over poor optics. And so now that women are, like I told y'all in the previous video, women are just this new protective class that you just can't do anything to them. No matter what they do to you, they're just saying to walk away. Let me ask this question. This is kind of tying in with this whole Jonathan Majors situation. If you have a person committing a crime, let's just say a female is committing a crime. She's holding up a liquor store or robbing a bank, and the police shows up, and she has a weapon in her hand. You know what weapon I'm talking about. I won't use the word, but it's a weapon that fires a projectile, and she has a serious one, or maybe it's an assault. Maybe it's one that fires a lot of rounds. What is a police officer supposed to do? Is he supposed to say, well, this is a woman, I'm a man, and I cannot use the force that I'm trained to use on her, so I have to take her down lightly or just let her go? If a female is assaulting a police officer, what is he supposed to do? If she's just sitting there mollywopping him, punch, 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 punch. Let's say it's a woman that has some skills like Layla Ali. What is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to say she's a woman? I cannot scratch her. I cannot dent her. I can't even fracture her finger. I can't even put a scratch on this woman. I have to subdue this woman some kind of way, or I have to wait for another female cop to show up before I can and let her take action. If your answer is, if you're going to answer that's the correct procedure, then God help you, society is headed down the wrong road. But if you cannot meet someone else's force and subdue their force, regardless of gender, what are you supposed to do? If four females are breaking into someone's home or carjacking someone, and if the victim is a man, can he not say, well, I got to defend myself, but because they're females, I cannot defend myself? So this is the same thing with Jonathan Majors. If you have someone that's trying to rip your phone out of your hand, if she didn't like him texting other females, then you know what? Get another boyfriend. Walk away. But because she wants to continuously initiate something, she was the procuring cause of the whole incident. But all of this still goes to trial, and then this man loses his job. And this is wash, rinse, repeat. But we do not hold females to the same level of accountability. Cardi B can go around saying that she used to drug men and rob them, but only Bill Cosby's in jail. Go figure. Well, this is the Political Brown Kid. I hope y'all learning something. Be well.